Hello, my name is Daisy DeCoster, and I'm a librarian and the director of the O'Toole Library at St. Peter's University. This workshop is designed for first year and transfer students to go over just some of the resources and support services offered by your university library. We're also going to discuss what college research looks like and the many different ways that you might be involved in research activities here at St. Peter's. So we use research, the term research, a lot of different ways in our society. And that's true also of university definitions. But as a broad definition of research, we can always look at it as the systematic investigation into and study of materials and sources in order to establish facts or to reach new conclusions. And where the library comes into play is helping you seek out, find, and acquire those materials and sources that you need to investigate for your research assignments. So if you are taking part in scientific research, sometimes the experience you might envision looking a lot like this. And if you are in your general lab science courses, biology, chem, or physics, or as a major, you'll definitely be taking part in laboratory experiments. So that is one kind of research. What students sometimes don't consider is that for every laboratory experiment, there's something called a literature review. So if you're going to publish your experiment, or even often in your lab report for your professor, you have a section where you have to look in the scientific literature at similar experiments and read about them and cite them. That's where the library can come into play in scientific research. You might not have thought of this with research, but some students take part in field research where they are actually out examining things and doing research in the field, perhaps in an environmental studies course or an archaeology experience. And in the same way, you also might have to look back into the literature when you write about those experiences. A more frequent type of research that I do see at St. Peter's is social science research that can take place in the forms of ethnography. So you're going out and talking to people and questioning them on their human experiences, or surveys. If you're if you're a social science major, sociology, communications, criminal justice, you have to have a research course where you have to survey individuals on their experiences and their feelings and opinions. Business as well, often there's survey-based research. But once again, even if you're going to have your original survey, you're going to be looking into the published literature to see what similar research is out there. This slide is really my vision of the typical humanities scholar or researcher. So typically when you're doing a research paper for English, history, theology, philosophy, you're not going to be surveying, you're not going to be in the lab, you're going to be looking at other scholars and secondary sources and kind of trying to reckon with their points of view on whether it's a literary work, a philosopher, or a theological concept. So books, 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 and also journal articles. Now, books don't always have to come in print form. We and the O'Toole Library does provide access to scholarly ebooks as well as the print books that you can come borrow in our building. So I'm going to point out where on the university website you can gain access to those materials. Typically, the modern university researcher, you as first year transfer students, are going to see yourself using a mixture of resources when you write a paper. Often we see students who are online writing a paper. Maybe they're working in Google Docs. They're also doing some research online. They might be pulling up resources on their phone. and they might also be using some print books or print journals. So very often we see a mixture of things, and we support a mixture of materials at the O'Toole Library. I tell students to think of the library. I always say think of the library when you have a research assignment, but that can be hard. You might ask, how do I know when I have a research assignment? What will my professor tell me? I'm going to move over here for this. And hopefully they will tell you when it's a research assignment, but these are some examples of research assignments that might be coming your way in college. The first one I mentioned is just when your professor asks you to pull up an article, put an article on Blackboard on this topic that we're discussing this week. So that's a bit of a little research assignment, and you might think of the library databases then. A persuasive essay, so a debate assignment, or persuade me of something. You're not going to be very persuasive unless you're referring to reputable sources that can back you up in your argument. Literature review, I mentioned, which is a term often used in science for that section of your paper or lab report that backs up your experiment. Also used in the social sciences. And lastly, research paper or term paper, which is just a college assignment that's going to require outside research and outside sources. But really, any paper, project, assignment, presentation that requires you to use a source beyond your textbook is a research assignment. And I hope you do think of the library and the library website when you encounter those. And where do you want to go when you encounter one of those research assignments? Please visit the library website. So that's stpeters.edu/library. The library website is going to be a tool to get you to what we call the deep web. So sometimes we have this idea when we are on Google or an internet search engine that we're looking at everything the world has to offer, in a sense, that we have access to everything. When in reality, we're only really skimming the surface, if you will, with Google. Just something that's good to understand is that the internet has a lot of areas that are protected by passwords. So you probably are familiar with some sites that you use, your personal banking information, or even Blackboard, where you can only access areas of the internet that are password accessible to you. Even though that banking information is on the internet that you're looking at, only you can log in and see your checking account info. Similar with Blackboard, I'm sure you have textbooks you've purchased with access codes. Well, library subscribed content is like that. It's part of the deep web. So if you're looking for articles for a research paper, books for a research paper, you can't get everything on Google. And you should be happy to know that the O'Toole Library on your behalf does subscribe to content. We buy journals, books, streaming film databases, collections of images through ArtStore. So you should make sure you have access to all of this content that we're actually purchasing with your tuition dollars. So that's why I'm inviting you to go to the library website, stpeters.edu/library, and you will see very prominently displayed on our homepage this one search tool, which brings you into library resources, articles, ebooks, magazine articles, journals, newspapers like the Star Ledger and the Wall Street Journal that are paywalled online, and a lot of other content. So please, when you have one of those research assignments, when you're being asked to put an article on Blackboard, when you're being asked to do a literature review for a biology lab report, any of these research assignments, please go to our website and put some search terms associated with your topic, keep it broad at first, into our one search tool. And you'll be searching everything. If you just want to search books or you just want to search articles, you can do that. If you know the title of the publication you're looking for, you can use the journals tab then. So there's a few ways you could search there, but it's the number one spot to find this, subscribe to this St. Peter's Deep Web information. We also live, pardon me, let me move out of here. We also live in Blackboard over in the library databases button. So every Blackboard course shell has some of these same menu items on the left. And as you zoom down below My Grades and Email Classmates, you should see a link that says Library Databases. Databases is just a word to use all the various search engines and resources that we have. And that was the word agreed upon here. So when you click that Library Databases link, you will navigate out back to the O'Toole Library website. And instead of just being on our homepage, you'll be in a dedicated guide for that course that you were in. So if you're in a biology course, you go to the biology research guide. If you were in an English course, you go to the English research guide. Criminal justice course, criminal justice research guide, and so on and so forth. And we've designed these guides for every academic major and minor at St. Peter's. And there's also a librarian liaison linked on each guide who is a good person to reach out to with additional questions for that subject area. So please, please, please do check out that library databases link in your Blackboard shell. Also super useful if you're already in Blackboard and just need to do a little research. So research for most students can kind of be a double-edged sword. So in one sense, I believe that research assignments can be the most empowering, exciting, and meaningful assignments that you do because you're creating something totally unique in the world. When you go out and do an analysis and write a term paper, no one has created that, unless you plagiarize, no one has created that exact synthesis of thoughts and ideas. So unlike taking a test, which you might do great, get an A on a test, and that's satisfying, I think research can be almost more empowering because you really are seeing yourself as a creator. At the same time, research can be scary. It can be frustrating. You might have to read things only to find that they're irrelevant and not helpful for the work you need to do. That's part of life. It can be frustrating and it can be time consuming. So some important things to consider there are to start early and to ask for help. The library has 3 help options on our homepage. Chat, there's a chat box that's 24 hours that sort of lurks wherever you are. And you can hit us up through chat, ask us any questions. We have an email address, reference@stpeters.edu, that can be checked multiple times a day by librarians. So it's a good place to ask for help. And we offer research consultations. There is a form on our website, and that's a one-on-one experience to consult with a librarian in your subject area. We'll help walk you through some search tools, and we can learn together, which is great. Okay. So I focus on research assignments because that is really one of the most important things we do at the library. But the library has so much more than research. It has computers, printing, and technology to support your scholarship. So if you want to come in, this is a picture of our research commons on the first floor where we have 15 computers socially distanced right now and set up for you to use. We have printing, 3 network printers for you to use in the library, one of which is color, and students still have 500 pages per academic year that they can use on their one card for free. We have a leisure reading section. Students, undergraduates can check out 30 books, and we have many scholarly books upstairs, but leisure reading and graphic novels are on our first floor. So come check those out if you're in the library. In addition to our desktop computers, this semester we started loaning laptops. They are Chromebook laptop computers. And if for any reason you need to borrow a laptop, it will circulate to you either short term or through the end of the semester. And you just need to come into the library during our regular hours, which are always listed on our website, and just go to the circulation desk and borrow a laptop. And of course, the library is full of many, many quiet study spaces that are offered to you. And we have been keeping limited to 25% capacity during COVID-19, which has not been a problem. So if you need a quiet and place to study, we ask that you use the Campus Clear app and that you wear a face covering, and please try to keep at least 6 feet from the other students and university staff using the library, but we definitely welcome you on campus and at the O'Toole Library this semester and going forward. So when this presentation was live, we had time for Q&A and time to ask questions, but since this is a virtual presentation, I'm going to ask that you go to the library website. That's stpeters.edu/library. Do some searches. Check out some of our great tools like Canopy for streaming films and Artstor for images. See if you can open an ebook. And then please use the Ask a Librarian tools like chat or email that are embedded right there in your website to ask us any questions. I hope this workshop was useful to you, and I will see all first year students in Composition 115 or 117 next semester. Have a great day, and we'll see you soon at the O'Toole Library.